Toto. So just in case you were thinking I'm like really cool, that just goes to show I love a classic. The lads from Toto. Yeah? You do the math. How are you? Right. Obviously it's going that way. I don't know if you can see that. It doesn't matter. I don't know how to fix it. How about maybe I could Google it. Also, the image is reversed, isn't it? For you? Is it? I don't know. I have no idea. This is my right hand. Is that my left hand for you? Does that look... Oh, who cares? Like, that would make any difference. Like, that would make this a good show. Anyway, how are you? I'll say hello to a few people. Where are you? Merthyr Beach? Where's that? Where's Merthyr Beach? Hawaii, everyone. Ireland. All over the world. Tennessee, Bristol, Leeds. So, how's Pickle? Fantastic. She's asleep. She's starting to find her sort of places. She does this thing, right? On the sofa, you know where a sofa's got a back, but then the cushions are sometimes higher than the back, if you know what I mean, and there's a gap. She likes to get between the two cushions and just lean over like that. Just like, like she's hanging over a wall. And I don't know why. Like like a leopard in a tree. I think that can't be comfortable. She's got a few little favourite chairs. She went to the vet for the first time today. Had her injections and she was chipped and she had a manicure. So yeah, she's great. Thanks for asking. I'll get her on here one day. She actually meowed at the end of the last one, and I heard it, and I think some other people heard it. So if she does that again, I'll get her in. Devon, NYC. Well, the world is falling apart. You got your pandemics. You got your riots. Civil war brewing. You got your famine. You'll always have your famine. And all that. All the other diseases are still there. But we've got this, haven't we? So, before I get to the inane questions from cats and dogs, I spent the morning looking at chairs online for I want 3 matching chairs for this live that I'm going to do if we don't go into lockdown. I'm worried that it's going to go back into lockdown, and even though I'm doing it all safe and socially distanced, that I've got to warm up in 3 weeks or 2 weeks maybe now. And what I'm going to do is I'm only going to put them on sale maybe a couple of weeks before. They sell out in 30 seconds, right? So I can afford to leave it much closer to the time than usual. And so we'll always know, we'll know the score better. So we don't know what's going to happen in even a month's time. So I'll keep you posted and that'll give you something to look forward to, but not worry. You know what I mean? I'll sell them out like a week or 2 before. So yeah, I was looking at chairs for Talking Bollocks Live. I'm very excited. I'll get all my chums in. just me and two other people. I think the first one might be Diane Morgan and Sean McLaughlin. I'll get Joe Wilkinson in and Kerry Godliman and David O. You know, the usual suspects. And then I could probably do it in other parts of the world, and have local comedians or big comedians, whatever country I'm in. Who knows? So that's what I've been doing today, and it's been raining. Right, let's start with the actual bollocks questions. That's why you tune in, right? Miss Fitto says, "Did you ever study acting and directing, or is it natural ability?" Oh, I don't know. I don't know if it's either. I didn't study it, certainly not. Although doing it is studying it. So some things you just can't do in a classroom. Some things aren't theory. They're doing it. Imagine someone. I can't think of it. You don't do it with sport, do you? You don't just sit down and be taught how to do sport. I mean, there's lots of theory, but you still have to do it. So that's by far a much better lesson. You could spend 3 years studying film and directing and English and all those things, and a couple of weeks on a film crew, and you would learn more. So I sort of made it up as I went along. That's the other thing. You think you discovered something and done it right away, and you realise, oh no, so and so did that 50 years ago. You know, so experience is great. I'd say to anyone who's thinking of doing something, even if it's just writing and handing over, I'd say try and film it yourself first with a couple of mates on your iPhone and an editing program, and see what it's like to try and make something, because you learn so much. Like in the edit, you go, oh, I can't use that because I can't edit because I didn't take a cutaway or something. So I'd say I sort of studied it all my life just by watching things on telly and being funny in the classroom. I'd say that was as much studying as doing a film course at some dodgy university that used to be a fucking laundrette. So I don't want to diss anyone doing media studies, but you can study Madonna at one university. So did I tell you? I don't know if I told you this. I was in a cab last year, and I went past this place in London, and it was School of Flower Arranging. And I looked in, and there was like 10 people having a lesson. School of Flower Arranging. I mean, you're having a laugh. My mum used to pick flowers all the time in the garden. All the time. She'd be picking all the flowers, she grew roses, everything. And she'd put them in vases. They looked lovely. At no point did anyone ever come into the house and go, what unqualified cunt did these? So I don't think you need to study flower arranging. I'm not a snob, but no, I didn't study acting or directing. I just do it and picked it up. Was it natural ability? I think everything's got to be a bit of natural ability, isn't it? It's it's a bit of natural ability plus hard work will make you good at something. If you have no natural ability, it's harder. But if you don't work hard, your natural ability is wasted. So it's sort of on a graph, it sort of plots like that, you know. I don't know if that answers your question. I made it up as I went along, and I liked it, and I found what I was good at, and I do what I'm good at, and I eke out my niche and do that. And you try and do that. I think the best thing to do is try and do a tiny little aspect better than anyone else, and I think you can't go wrong. Freya says, "Who has been your favourite actor that you have worked with?" in your career? Oh, that's so hard. Oh. Well, one of my favourite actors, full stop, happens to be someone I got to work with, and that's, I suppose, Robert De Niro. I mean, I always thought he was, I think, the actor of my generation, and I worked with him on Stardust, and then I plucked up courage to ask him to do a cameo in Extras. But of course, in neither of those, he wasn't really doing, he wasn't really stretching himself. I don't think I've ever worked with someone where at the time I'm going, oh my God, you know, doing a drama with Dustin Hoffman is different to mucking around with Sam Jackson on the set of a comedy, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I've worked with some amazing actors, and ones you might not think of, I think, are the ones that you don't notice doing. I'd say doing the hard work, doing that naturalism. So obviously, the funny roles stand out, but then there's people that just do their job brilliantly, and you don't notice them, and you don't notice them because they're such a good actor or actress. That's why you don't notice them, because you think, oh, that's just someone. That's someone in the office, or wherever they're. I think what's bad is sometimes you can't watch a film with a megastar in it because you're going, oh, that's so and so, the megastar, and he's meant to be a postman. It's like you go, no, that doesn't work. So I think it's probably De Niro. Claire, do you have a bucket list? Don't think so. I mean, I talk about dying a lot. It's getting closer. It's getting closer, guys. Will you miss me when I'm gone? I'll trend on for a Twitter when for a day. I mean, do you have a bucket list? Are there any things you still really want to do, or places you really want to go before you actually end up in a bucket? Oh yeah, okay. That's cheerier, isn't it? I suppose living in a bucket, if you're quite happy with it, and I think I would be. It's getting to the point now where I'd quite happily. I'm jealous if I see a toddler in a stroller and my bunion's playing up and my knee hurts and my back aches. I think, oh fucking hell. I wish Jane could just push me round now. In a buggy. I wouldn't give a fuck. I wouldn't go, oh, you're embarrassed. You're going, boo, lazy. Get into the front of the queue and everything. It wouldn't have to be a pushchair. I'd be happy with a wheelchair. Or a bath. Just a bath on wheels. What would I want to do? I suppose I would like to see the world, but I can't be bothered. If I could get the world to come to me, I'd do that, even if it cost more. Like Jane would go, oh, you ordered Tokyo. It's outside. I go, I'll be out in a minute. Yeah, I want to go through a portal. Tokyo. Yeah, it's getting on that flight, and oh god, I would like to see the world, but just get me there quicker. Or asleep. That'd be all right. I'd be fine. Like B.A. Baracus. Like, I go, I ain't getting on no plane. And Jane goes, just eat this veggie burger. I go, when I wake up, where are we? Australia. Oh, you fucking drugged me. Well, I'd be happy with that. Really want to go. Where was the place? I suppose I would like to go with those idyllic sort of desert islands. I'd do this live from there. Just me, all that clear water, all stingrays coming up, me sitting on the beach, drinking from a coconut. Be alright, wouldn't it? Bella the Whippet. Like me, you seem to wear the same outfit every day. I do, Bella, yeah. But today I'm not wearing my collar. I'm just walking around the house naked. And it's liberating. Do you ever feel like you want to throw caution to the wind and do the same? No, I don't. I want to pop my pyjamas on as quickly as possible. Have a little bath. Pyjamas off, bath, sweatpants on. Bath, sweatpants off, bath, pyjamas on. That's yeah. I don't walk around naked even by myself. Well, I do when I'm in the bathroom, but there's always bound to be a curtain down or a reflection. I walk past the mirror, so or the door goes. I like to be prepared. Also, what about a fire alarm? Walking around naked, you can't put your trousers on quickly enough. Always be prepared. Always pop some little pants on. No, Bella, I do not walk around naked. Snowball is, I presume, some sort of animal. Or a drag act. Might be a person, I don't know. Snowball. If you stayed in a supposedly haunted building and something happened, like an ornament flew across the room for no apparent reason, would you then change your mind to what you believe? What do you think causes such a thing to happen? No, because there are so many explanations. Even if you can't explain or prove it, there are so many likely more explanations than it was a ghost, aren't there? So many more. An earthquake is more likely than a ghost, isn't it? Something so illogical as a ghost, a thing without material presence or anything. If I saw a ghost, if I actually saw a ghost, again, there's still so many more logical explanations than that ghost actually existing. Optical illusion, madness, too much cheese before I went to bed, stress. And there's so many things that are explainable logically and physically in the material world than it was a ghost. So no, I would never. I mean, it freaked me out because one of the explanations could be like an old man in a mask, like in Scooby-Doo. And I think, well, it's not a ghost, but he's obviously a mental case, and he's probably going to stab me. So, do you know what I mean? If an old man is walking around dressed as a ghost, he's a fucking mental. So he might stab me. So I would be afraid of him, knowing he's not a ghost, but that he's a fucking lunatic. So Shaggy and Scooby were right to be afraid of him. Like, you've got fucking Velma and a twat. Who's that twat going, oh, calm down, it's just an old man in a mask. An old man in a mask? That's fucking scary. Because he's fucking mental. It's a ghost. Don't be fucking stupid. I'm not scared of that. Oh, don't worry, it's not a ghost. It's an old man in a fucking mask. Well, let's get the fuck out of here then. Is all I can say. I'm with Scooby and Shaggy. I'm fucking shitting myself and running. Unless he was such an old man that he was so frail that I could overpower him. Oh, God. Didn't Scooby-Doo just make kids scared of old people? Do you know what I mean? Like, kids weren't. It was good that they grew up being rational and thinking, oh, there's no such thing as ghosts and mummies and all that. But when they saw an old person, they think that old person's going to fucking rob us. He's going to pretend to be a ghost to rob us. I'm going to... It'd be funny if there was a spate of that. Scooby-Doo, a whole generation of young people fucking hate old people because they're always trying to con someone out of a mansion by pretending to be a mummy. Oh. Or if they saw a Burns victim, did they think the fucking twat's trying to pretend to be a mummy to get my money? Could happen. Gunner. Welcome, Signor Andy El Perro, my little brother, it's a dog, who shall be with us in late October. So Gunner's getting a little brother, a little dog. Excellent, well done, Gunner. My question, do you think Andy will like cheese? Yeah. Yes, he will. Not Brie. Not Brie, no. I don't think there's many dogs that have turned down a bit of cheese, but they probably wouldn't. I think they prefer a lump of cheddar or red Leicester to camembert. But that's quite creamy, isn't it? I don't know. What's the dog's favourite cheese? Good question, isn't it? Well done, Kermit. If you had to choose, would you rather have the ability to engage in deep two-way conversations with your pet, yeah, or know the absolute truth behind every conspiracy in the history of the world? I'll be honest, I don't care who killed Kennedy, or whether, there was a little alien in Roswell, or whether people walked on the moon, because it doesn't matter. Someone killed Kennedy, and that happened. Someone did walk on the moon. They did. I don't care what people think. They did. Of course they fucking did. It's like, I know, I think, I sort of know, really. Of course Elvis is dead. Of course he's dead. Why would you fake your own death like that? You know what I mean? If you fake your own death, you wouldn't say, tell him you found me on the bog with my pants around my ankles, full of shit. Most conspiracy theories, you could look into it and go, oh yeah, of course, it's bollocks. So I wouldn't bother with the conspiracy theories. I'd talk to an animal. How amazing would that be? Do you remember, that thing we've talked about before? I think Wittgenstein's lion, where philosopher Wittgenstein said that our language is part of our reference, and what we talk about and what we discuss is ingrained. So even if a lion could speak English, you wouldn't know what he was talking about, because his references would be so off the chart to ours on how he thinks, his morality, thought patterns. So it'd be fascinating if you could talk to a dog. A dog would just be going, I love you. I go, I know, I love you. You go, I love you. I know. Should we go out? I want to go out. It's the best thing ever. Do you want to go home? I want to go home. It's the best thing ever. Do you love me? I absolutely love you. That would be a dog. That would be a dog. A cat would be, you alright? Yeah, why? Why'd you ask? You fucking loser. Get me some food. Alright. Sorry. That would be the conversation. Cat, are you alright? Why'd you wake me up? Oh, Joey. Right, this is Joey the cat. I do some really speedy zoomies around the house right before using my litter tray. Do you ever need to let off steam before going to do your business? Do you do zoomies too? No, I don't. No. Everyone feels better after. Ollie used to do her zoomies after. Like, sometimes we'd be sitting watching telly, and she'd obviously used her litter tray, and she'd come thundering in the front room and jump in a cupboard and we know she just had a very successful poo. I don't know why. I don't know why. Are they getting away from danger? Like that's why they bury it, so it's had to be secret. In their head, is it an instinct to get away from danger, where you've left your scent, or did she just was it painful and she thought, fucking hell, let me get into the cupboard and lie down. I don't know. Any pet psychologists out there? I don't know why they do that. But no, Joey. I don't ever do anything that fast anymore anyway. Ollie Comic says, most of your work seem to involve feel-good moments and happy endings. Yeah, I guess so. Would you ever consider doing something without these elements, like a thriller or a horror story? Yeah, well, all the things I watch don't really have those, sweet emotional moments that, I watched all this Scandi noir stuff. I'm watching a thing at the moment, again, one of the best things I've ever seen, called Clem, which means blood pact. And it's about two little girls, how old they are, 8, and they're best friends, and they do a little blood pact. And one little girl, her dad is a widower, and he's bringing up her and an older teenage daughter. And he's a very respectable. He's like the high up in the tax office, and he's like the head of the tax office it's in Holland. And the other little girl's dad is a murderer who's coming out of jail after 8 years, and no one knows about it because she was lied to and the whole school was lied to. So suddenly, this really respectable man is thrown into being embroiled with this murderer because their kids are friends. And I won't give anything away, but it's good because it's unavoidable with how he gets embroiled, and it's brilliant. The acting's great. The plotting is amazing. I've never seen them plot so many things so well, and it's also a quiet suburbia. It's not outrageous. Everything's just quiet and seething, and there's also a dark comedy element that runs through it that's so subtle that you might not notice it, but it's just so normal. However, the big things that happen, it's just so normal, and that makes it more stressful because I think that's a real horror. Normal life in a normal house when your lovely idyllic world is shattered by something. That's scary. As a kid, the thought of someone coming to the house, that's much scarier than fucking vampires and werewolves that don't exist. I've always wanted to set something in suburbia, really, like just who's next door, They live somewhere, don't they? Nutters, murderers, they live somewhere. They might live next door. They don't advertise it. So yeah, it's great. That's my recommendation at the moment. I think it's on Walter Presents, Dutch series, Clem. And we're already halfway through series 2. Great, really good. So there you go. So yes, I would like to do something and I'd like to do something mental, like, play a vampire, if it was a good production. But there's so many shit things like that. There's so many shit horror and thrillers, just by numbers or badly done. It's rare. It's so rare. I mean, that's why something like The Exorcist is remarkable, because there's 10 horror films as good. Think of that. That's ridiculous, isn't it? So yeah, I would if it was good. Anyway, the best till last. It's Rupert. Have you ever come up with an invention that you think is brilliant and could be patented? Mum is a laughing stock in this house as she comes up with stupid stuff all the time. Once even applying for a patent on one, but didn't even hear back. Oh, it was for a truncheon style extendable lead that had a light inside it. Disclaimer, if anyone steals this, it is my mum's idea. It's not Rupert. Once you've published an idea for someone, you can't complain if they go and patent it first, so you've blown it. Then there was the bike lawnmower. That's a good idea that kids could use. Mow and go. Go and mow. Mow and go. That's really good. I like a bike that's a lawnmower. That's a good idea. Because you could be fit and mowing the lawn. And I suppose the pedalling would drive the thing as well, wouldn't it? I don't know. You need somebody to drive the wheels and the thing. Would it be the same? I mean, and she worked out all the science as well, or just written off going a lawnmower. That's also a bike. Oh, inventions are funny, aren't they? Okay. I don't think I have. No. Did I tell you that I've talked about this on one of the early podcasts? That I met a guy who, when he was like 12 or 13, he entered a Blue Peter competition to design a car for the future. Right, sent it off, and he was waiting for all his family, and he was 12, so he told his family that he'd probably won. Right, he was so confident, and they watched it, and he obviously wasn't mentioned. And the car, it was just a car, right? Just a normal car, but the front seat was also a toilet, so you could have a shit whilst driving. That was the innovation. Right? And then he said at one point he put a little arrow. It said poo goes down to the engine that is now fuel. Again, how does that work? It could do, I suppose. It'd have to be a different sort of engine, but I have the idea of the kid thinking, I've often needed a poo when I was being driven to school. When I grow up, I'll have a car that I can poo in. Oh dear. Well, that was a load of bollocks, wasn't it? What an absolute fucking load of bollocks that was. I just realised the mic was facing the other way. Could you hear me all the way through that? Well, no one told me, did they? I think it worked. Like that matters. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please retweet this. Look out for when I do one of these live, and when all the pandemic is all over and we're back to normal, maybe I'll do a little world tour of talking bollocks. Who knows? It's something to look forward to, isn't it? Before we die. Anyway, cheers everyone. Have a good week. Be nice to animals. Tatty bye everyone.